Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rent asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on.
Hello and welcome to Avernus. I am your humble stream host, Pixel, and I am pleased to present to you my mom promised my hand in marriage to this absolute freak, and all I got was a boatload of magical stuff for me and my friends. 23rd episode of Ages of Idol presents Baldur's Gate: Descent into Avernus. Welcome everybody. As always, we are going to get to things here in just a few minutes, but we do have our usual housekeeping things. A reminder that we do have our other campaign now going on theoretically alternate weekends. Waterdeep Dragon Heist, we've had one episode of that. You can find that on YouTube. Our next episode of that is theoretically on the 29th at the end of the month. So you'll probably be seeing that then. And then with our usual stuff, first things first, don't spoil things. I'm not the GM, so you can't spoil anything on the map because you can't see secrets that I have. But if you've run this adventure before, keep it to yourself. Don't be out here, spoiling things if you know what is coming in the adventure. Second, don't forget about the rules. There's a lot of them, and sometimes we get them wrong, especially the new stuff, because I'll be honest, I don't know the 2024 rules that well. So don't be a wangrod, don't be a jerk to the players or each other. Third, this is an open and welcoming space, so as we were just saying, don't be a wangrod. And of course, final reminder, we do release a show on YouTube following each episode during the next week, so if you have to miss it or don't get to see the whole episode, you can check it out on YouTube to be caught up for when we're live again. And of course, as always, we will be reminding you who we are and where we can be found on the internet, and whether or not we have chat inspiration, starting with, of course, our illustrious dungeon master, DocRobert.
You're muted, Robbie.
Muted.
Hello everyone, I am Robbie, or DocRobert, and I will be your dungeon master for this evening, putting these wonderful people through more literal than normal hell, as things have been going that way, and then some of them more than others. Sorry about that, Temperance. Anyway, I will throw it back to Pixel to introduce himself.
Oh, hey there, gang. My name is Pixel. If you didn't know me, I am playing, of course, Dwarven Barbarian and #1 internet sad dad, Phoenix Brightgrin. No longer in possession of my coveted alchemy jug from whence wondrous libations doth flow, but newly in possession of a fancy schmancy belt of giant strength. Growth. You can find me here on twitch.tv/hammerandpixel. I have been streaming a little less lately due to my changed work schedule, but I am theoretically planning to try to stream generally Final Fantasy XIV on Tuesdays and Thursdays, as well as other random coding streams working on the game I am working on. So that is where you can find me. And of course, you can also find me, as I said before, here on our other campaign where I am GMing. We are going through Waterdeep Dragon Heist with our good friends over in the Eat Fleet. And I do have chat inspiration.
Bonus Mom.
I am Bonus Mom, and I am playing Bonnie Mama, a human warlock, and I chat and crochet Eastern Daylight Time, weekday mornings, 9:30 or so for a couple of hours. Some days I play cozy games about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Daylight Time, and a few late night streams and a couple of weekend streams, and I don't know, I'm here all the time. And I do have chat inspiration, and I have temporary hit die. Thank you.
McReese.
Hi guys, I am McReese. Tonight I am playing Raven LaFey, the tiny tiefling druid. I can usually be found keeping the community safe for Bonus Mom and for her followers. And happy Pride Month to everybody.
Cam.
Hello, my name is Cam, or Nora Mark. As you can tell, I'm from the sunny part of the world in Britain. It's really wet and miserable.
Well known for their sun, yes, of course.
This is what it looks
Cam's
like.
delusional.
This is a perfect depiction of the UK. My name's Cam. I will be playing Jax, the mighty tiefling rogue, who is apparently Scottish now. There we go.
And Kaylee.
Go away, Garrett. You had your time last night.
Oh, chat inspiration.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yes.
Okay.
Kaylee.
I am Kaylee or Christy, and I play Temperance, the Air Genasi sorcerer who has a whole bunch of new fancy things that she doesn't know how to use, and that's going to be so much fun.
Me too.
I can be found on Tuesdays. I stream with another D&D group, Reality Break 20. We've actually been posting more of our stuff to YouTube, so you can see all of our stuff there. I occasionally stream on my own. It's very rare these days. But I'm also on TikTok. That's a little bit more active. Yeah, and lurking in Bonus Mom's Discord.
Alrighty. Well, last time on D&D, for a session with no combat, things were not exactly untense. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I sensed a bit of tension in the air as Temperance met her betrothed. And found out that it was Archon the Cruel, second in command of Zariel's host, and who apparently had been promised her hand in marriage by Zariel herself. And if there was ever any doubt...
Yeah, I was going to say, not Zariel.
Tiamat.
Or Zariel. Yep, Tiamat. Yep, my bad. Tiamat herself. The real twist... No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, wait, give me another, evil mom. Come on.
2 evil moms in Pride Month.
Make that 3. I got an edge.
Okay. Let's see if... Okay, looks like we're connected. Hello. Please come back, everyone.
It's live.
Hopefully it won't crash. We've been having an issue where OBS is crashing. It has something to do with whether or not Twitch is connected directly to OBS. Hopefully using the stream key will work, and we'll just carry on.
All right. Well then,
Yeah, there we go.
coming back to where we were. Yes, if there was ever any doubt about Temperance's parentage, Tiamat has been 100% confirmed as your mother, although you don't necessarily have any other details, and you were oddly uninterested in asking about them.
Just don't want to know. I just don't want to know.
I can't believe why that would be the case. I'm shocked, I tell you. Shocked. That aside, you were given some mighty gifts in as you were able to convince Archon that you had a mutually aligned goal, with the idea that the wedding would occur after you were able to attain the sword. So you were given a number of magic items. So real quick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have us go around and talk about what those items were and what they do. Kind of like we do when we get a level up, but all of these are pretty impactful weapons, pretty impactful items. So we'll go ahead and start off with Phoenix.
Yes. The item... Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. No, you're good. The item that you grabbed and what it does. The item.
Yeah, right. So, I traded my alchemy jug from whence precious libations once flowed for a belt of fire giant strength, which requires attunement, I believe, and raises my strength score to 25. Before that, it was like 17, so that's a massive bump in Phoenix's strength score, and he will now be swinging at stuff with his Warhammer with like a plus 12 modifier to hit and like a +11 when raging to damage. It is pretty gnarly.
All right. Next, Bonnie.
So Bonnie received something called the Staff of Healing. But because Bonnie is Bonnie, it didn't look like your typical Staff of Healing. This thing's about 4 feet long, and it has 10 different sewing supplies on it. So there's a spool of thread, a ball of yarn. Part of it looks like a big darning hook. There's actually a button or two touched in there, and then also some things that nobody would even know what they are except for Bonnie, although the very, very bottom of it has a pair of scissors opened on it with one point sticking out this way and one point sticking out that way. It's a pretty deadly deal, and there are 10 charges on it, and Bonnie can do all kinds of things with those charges, which I can't get to, so basically you'll find out when it happens.
Okay. Next, that would be Raven.
Okay, so Raven got some new kit. First is she got a crown of whirling comets. So she's got the ability to fly for a small amount of time, but she's also got some more ranged attacks that come up as comets and shooting stars. And she's also got some Fey wrought armor to make her less squishy.
Okay. Next, Jax.
Well, Jax has spent the night either chasing or being chased by a magical rapier that is absolutely gleaming and glowing and absolutely incredible looking, but Jax refuses to touch and does not want it to touch them. So it's essentially being chased. It's a Scooby-Doo scene. Like, this is real Scooby-Doo scene. But yeah, so Jax has a dancing blade, which essentially Jax can use their mind to essentially control it in battle, so it attacks on its own not initiative, but does its own thing basically.
So is it just like running in and out of everybody's room?
They are literally just running all over the place. They either trying to like chase it to try and like get it back to like stay by the side, or it's coming at them full force and they're running away from it.
This makes me wish that you guys had the Mordenkainen's magnificent mansion, because if you then you could actually do the Scooby-Doo scene. It would be good.
Benny Hill theme.
Yeah.
You just hear that Looney Tunes like with the little like bongos or whatever whenever somebody rums, and then like whacko.
It would have been good.
The legs are just circles.
All right, and last but certainly not least, with the most gear, Lady of the Hour, Princess Temperance.
Gross. Well, probably the biggest thing that Temperance got was a set of dragon scale mail, red dragon scale mail, which is totally throwing off her color scheme. So we'll have to figure that out. But what this does is you get so my armor class now is 15 plus my dex. So my armor class is now 17, which is crazy. I also have advantage on saving throws against the breath weapon of dragons, and I have resistance to fire damage. And I can also tell the distance and direction of the closest dragon within 30 miles once a day.
Yeah, you used that a minute ago, and the answer is like 500 feet to your right. So
yeah.
Oh no, we roboted out.
Yeah. It's not super useful at the moment, but maybe it will be. Uh-oh.
You're back. You were gone for a moment.
Okay. All right. Yeah, my internet's unhappy. As per usual.
You hate to see it.
So,
Brutal.
what else did I get? Oh, yeah, right. My Bloodwell vial is now a +2, which is awesome. that got upgraded. And I also have a ring of spell storing, which was my engagement ring rate. But I put a bunch of spells in it already while we were resting overnight. And I think that's the gist of it.
Right.
It's just been druid crafting paint so we can make it less Tiamat colored.
Yeah, you could totally do that.
I also got food for 10 days for all of us. I forgot about that. It was written down. Yeah. It won't be delicious food, but it's food.
Okay.
Since we no longer have a jar of mayo to feed us.
Forgot
It
about
tasted
that.
terrible anyway, honestly.
It's true.
Hasn't been much better. Well, you guys wake up in your incredibly well-appointed rooms, wherever it was that you had decided to stay, with one of the most comfortable night's sleeps that you've had, and only a few nightmares haunting your dreams, which, for you guys, makes it one of the best nights you've had in a while, with only a few of the nightmares.
Phoenix
So as you
wakes
wake up,
up.
you are...
Phoenix wakes up with just like his head dangling off the side of the bed, completely splayed out. But when he does wake up, he's not used to sleeping in like bed clothes and sheets and stuff. So he thinks he's been restrained, and he's trying to like fight the bed sheets as he wakes up before he sort of tumbles out of the bed onto the floor.
Yeah, and as you do, you're not used to the belt and the things it gives you. So you turn and you rip the bed sheet just completely in half. Just like a phone book, just like gone.
Yeah.
Completely destroyed. So
there's like threads in his beard, just like
yeah. Well,
a couple of them, you know.
Woven beard.
In the what's left of his beard.
So
I mean, he didn't sleep with the crocheted thing on, you know.
That's fair, I guess. That's fair. I can't believe it. You got
It's too hot.
Yeah.
Does he put it on in the morning? That's the question.
Yeah, sure. Covers up the threads.
What's everybody else doing?
Raven is trying to adjust to the fact that she's leaving her skirts and crop top, and actually putting on like armor that she's not used to. She was, taught to be a druid, and this is very not druidy, so it's really strange for her.
Yeah, I would say it probably takes Raven and Temperance quite a while to figure out like how to put it on, all the buckles and everything. Because Temperance would also be not have no familiarity with how to do that at all, for sure.
Getting that tail is just it needs a little. Where does the tail go?
I think that Bonnie actually wakes up with a smile on her face, and there haven't been very many smiles out of Bonnie since Neil left. And she actually, she wakes up kind of with a smile and is delighted, kind of rubs the sheet a little bit, and she's looking around. And in the room that she's in, there really isn't a whole lot in there, although it's really pretty. There's a bed and a chest of drawers and a closet and whatever. But when she sees that chest of drawers sitting over there with the pretty drawers in it, she says, Neil. And then she gets a bit sad and kind of sits on the edge of the bed for a few minutes and then sighs and gets up and starts to get her apron on, which is her mage armor, and ready to face another day in hell.
Nice. Anyone else their morning?
I mean, when you find Jax, they seem to have finally understood somewhat of how this weapon works, and is now has pulled out a dagger and is essentially having a little miniature fencing duel with a floating rapier, like winning every match because I am mighty.
Love that.
It's nothing to do with me controlling it.
Yeah, it's way easier to win when you control your opponent's hand.
It's amazing how that works. All right. Okay. Anyone else? I know the others believe that Temperance and Raven had a slumber party. So
yeah. No, I think anytime they're idle, you would catch Temperance like twirling the ring around her finger because it feels weird. And she's uncomfortable with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an odd it's definitely an odd feeling because it's a little heavier than you would have expected with the weight of the magic in it, which probably isn't a large weight, but feels heavy almost.
It feels heavy in multiple ways.
Speaking of heavy,
Do you know if it's
sorry, carry on.
if the roots and stuff, do we feel like it's safe to talk amongst ourselves?
You haven't felt truly alone since you've gotten hell. You have never, not for one moment, felt 100% sure that no one's watching you. It's just this ubiquitous feeling in the back of your mind that you almost just grow accustomed to.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that anything will happen. But no, you are not in any way, shape, or form comfortable or assured that this is a safe place.
Does it feel different, though? Does it feel like Raven would be comfortable talking to Tempest, trying to check in?
Oh, that's an insight check. Let's see.
Make sure that, like, the patrol is not insight. Those are Norman's dice. 22. Norman's dice works.
Yeah, there you go. You've been left pretty well alone. It does seem the one thing that you have noticed, no matter what disagreements they may have with Temperance, she is given a modicum of respect above what most people here would get.
Okay.
However that might manifest, you know.
So while they're kind of clumsily falling into their armor, the two people who I just wanted to be a healer.
I know, right?
Tempe, are you okay?
That depends on what you mean by okay. I mean, generally, no.
Yeah. This is a lot.
That is the perfect word for it. It's a lot. It's a lot.
You didn't really
to do about it, but I feel like we made the best outcome that we could.
Yeah. The gifts were nice, but it's still, they come with strings attached, really heavy strings attached for you. You didn't really ask a lot of questions that you
I know.
got to have.
That just doesn't want to know, you know? Like, I just hoping that we can figure a way out of this and then I can just live my life and not have to think about it, you know?
He didn't look that tough. I'm sure Finnick could kill him.
I'm sure Finnick would try. Oh, I don't know.
I just wanted to make sure. I'm just worried. This is a lot. Do you need anything?
I'm not sure. I don't even know what I could. I don't even know what I would ask for, you know? I don't know. Like you said, I have questions, but I don't want to know the answers. But should I know the answers? I don't know. It's just a lot, you know, like you said.
It is. Well, we know who your mother is. There's always who's your father, and I really wondering if you were hatched.
Well, I hadn't thought of that, but thanks. Well, I would like to, I suppose it is kind of curious how I mean, I'm an Air Genasi. I've been raised that way. I have all the things that every other Air Genasi or Genasi in general has that I've met. And And how did I end up in that compound in the middle of nowhere? I don't know.
Especially since I was under the assumption that if you had draconic blood, you ended up a dragonborn.
Well, I don't have a tail, so, you know. I
Count your
have no
blessings,
idea.
because they're a pain in the ass. Literally.
So-
I like your tail, though. I don't know that I would want one for myself.
Jack's hearing anything about the tail, like, pulls the tail around to the side just to, like...
Yes, but your tail...
Jax has one too.
Your tails are, like, somewhat useful. I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't know what to do with one. I'm glad I don't have one. And plus, the armor's hard enough to get on without adding a layer to it. That was not easy to
No
get
kidding.
on around your tail.
It gets very warm. And you look at Jax, and Jax is wearing, like, essentially what looks like almost just like commoners' clothes. Like, they are light, airy, ruggy. They should not be warm. Whatever they are wearing, it is just the thinnest, like, shabbiest commoner looking clothing.
Well, given that the tiefling who usually isn't bothered by heat is like been drop kicked in the middle of the Arizona desert, it's probably a good thing you're wearing light clothes.
Mm.
Ah, it's still too hot.
I don't think I'd ever be too hot.
It's hot everywhere here.
Yes, but when you are lugging around heavy armor like this, it gets too hot.
I'm hoping as
Sure.
Bonnie has left her room, are we in rooms or they've gathered? If we're not,
Probably gathering in a common room.
all right. Bonnie
Yeah.
is looking around to see, is there anybody else in there that we can ask about breakfast, or does breakfast show up, or are we alone?
So if you want to find breakfast, you know where the dining room is, but I assumed you probably weren't having any sensitive conversations there.
No.
Well, I'm kind of thinking Bonnie would have tapped on all the doors and said, "Rise and shine." Oh, God, I'm sorry I said that. Breakfast, anyone? And she's going to head into the breakfast room to see if it is prepared. And if not, she's going to pull out some of
There
her
are
stuff.
there are some breakfasts made, some pre-made stuff. It looks like they're just regularly stocking some plates as people kind of get up, grab it, eat whenever, and leave, and less so than a formalized meal. But there is some stuff there to get full, and it unfortunately does not have the same blessing. And although it doesn't taste maybe quite as ashy as usual, it certainly is not the swell tasting buffet of the evening before.
Well, and if I didn't prepare it, then we don't have our temporary hit points from the meal that I did yesterday.
I mean, you could just give them snacks so they could still have it.
Okay, well, I can be working on that and hand it out then. If that's all good, we'll do that and resolve that
Absolutely.
issue. And, Bonnie is, if and when anybody else shows up, is going to say, now just remind me, what exactly are we doing next?
The DM can chime in to reverse engineer the last several steps of the wild goose chase you've been on.
I think I've got it, because we've got
Okay, go for it.
the blood of Tiamat in a vial, which is why we're here. And then we have to go from there back to
the lightning orb, right? With the
Well, no, we
genie
have to
woman?
go
No,
to
we
the
have to go restore the Titan to his
restore the
former
Titan.
glory.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got rid of
and
the
then
Titan.
from there we have to take the Titan back to the lightning orb to talk to.
We're at like a chain of blood, right? Because we need Tiamat's blood to free the Titan, and then we need the Titan's blood to free the
Yes.
genie, and then we need to
And then
free the genie so
that
we can
way
free the
can
unicorn.
Free the unicorn, exactly.
Yeah.
And actually, if you remember, you need to free the genie because they had an in with Baal, the former leader of Hell, and Zariel's arch rival.
Bale
right.
was the
Hates Zariel
Forge.
above others is what I have
Forge.
written down.
forge person as well, the weaponry.
But Tiamat and that guy that wants to marry Temperance also want rid of Zariel, right?
Yes.
Yes, and as far as they're concerned, the reason we're trying to do what we're doing is so we can find Zariel's sword, which they believe they can use as a powerful tool to supplant Zariel, but we haven't
And also so
spoken
that
of that in any way other than
Vecna,
telepathically.
Yeah. Also so that his hand of Vecna doesn't
Right.
take him over or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, that conversation was done telepathically through Jax, which went incredibly well.
of course, as
Yeah.
always.
We add.
Sure.
That's why we have to discuss the plan again, just to make sure that because
Well,
the game
and-
of telephone was very telephony.
Well, and we weren't all in on it. I don't think I was. So
Yeah, I don't
that's
think.
another reason why I'm saying, what exactly are we doing next? So Bonnie's going to hand out the daily snacks for you all to have your +3s. We're going to choke down some of the disgusting food, and so we're fed up for a while.
If you remember, this
10 hit
place
points.
didn't have disgusting food. At least the food tasted good. It might still be hell stuff, but
Well, the snacks are going to
Okay,
be.
yeah.
Okay, so the morning food was also good. I missed that part.
It was better than usual, but not.
I mean, it doesn't taste the same way everything else has tasted. It
Whereas
may,
everything
but
else
it's
tastes
also,
like biting on a charwood log, this just tastes like you cooked the pizza at 500.
Okay. Okay.
This is not
Not quite
super
Bonnie's
duper
kitchen.
important, but I think Fenix spent the morning trying to figure out if there was anything in his room he was incapable of lifting with his new belt. So I think he's just like in his underwear with his belt, which I imagine looks like a world championship wrestling
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of a giant ass
definitely.
belt. Just picking up anything he could lift in the room. You know, the bed, the
I love
little
that.
chest of drawers, whatever.
Yeah, and
and
it's
I think
all-
upon discovering that there wasn't anything he couldn't lift, probably, he
Yeah, it's
put
all
his clothes and
effortless.
armor on and came to breakfast. But everything in the room is moved around a little bit. Like, he didn't put it back neatly. It's all, the bed is like a little askew.
I imagine he's walking in with his battle axe in one hand, casually like flipping it end over end because it weighs
Yeah,
nothing
the
now.
Warhammer, yeah.
Yeah, the Warhammer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's doing like the coin tricks practically on his fingers, but it's
with
with
the-
the hammer.
With the Warhammer.
That's
Yeah,
And it's
just
making
a
like a
shield.
Mjolnir whirring sound because it's magic, like whirring, whirring every time he does it.
I love that.
Or he's like flipping it like people do with like knives when they're showing off.
Bonus Mom is reminded of back when Shay was in high school and he watched the drum majorettes walking in front of the high school band with their batons.
Love that. So, all right. With that, are you guys sticking around? Is there anything you're trying to do today? You haven't seen Archon here yet. You see some of his lackeys around.
After talking with Raven about how Temperance didn't really ask any questions about anything, her background, I think Temperance might try to not ask directly, but kind of find out what people know about her and how they know about her.
Well, you could see Kroll. Kroll is that turtle gentleman who met you at first, and with his sick double skulled war mace. He's probably the highest ranking person who you have like talked to that you see around.
Yeah, I think she might kind of try to strike up a conversation just to
Yeah.
find out what she can find out.
You hear him say, "Yes, Your Highness, what can I do for you?"
Well, I'm just a bit curious about how you all know about me, since I've never been here before.
How we know about you?
Yes.
Well, it's quite simple. When we commune with Our Lady, or when Archon is ever so blessed to speak with her directly, we were fed morsels of information. And from there, once you finally arrived here in Avernus, well, let us just say it's easier to get a hold of someone.
Hmm. What sorts of information, though? I'm curious.
Who you were, that you had escaped from Her Majesty's people, that you were in Baldur's Gate, and we didn't have much to do from there, other than when some of our idiot oafish people encountered you, not knowing that they should have brought you to us immediately. But after that, it became clear that you were coming to join us.
So that's all you really know about me, then?
He starts to smile. He doesn't answer. He just gives you kind of like a knowing smile. What is it you're looking for, Your Highness?
You really don't have to call me that. That's just fine. Well, I've always been a bit curious about if I had any other family.
You know, your mother is close at hand, as you have been told.
Yes, but she's a
You
bit
have-
intimidating, you know. I'm not sure.
You met your half brother on the way in.
I
The big white one.
Okay.
All of the dragon folk around here are children of Tiamat in some way or form. So you will have dozens of half-siblings here.
That's
Although I wouldn't necessarily look to them for familial comfort.
no, I don't expect I would. And she's like completely lost the train of thought at thinking about how she's related to all the dragons of the area, because that is like, what? Wait, what? Did I hatch? Oh no.
Was there anything else, my lady?
No, I don't think so. And she'll just kind of wander off.
He doesn't make any attempt to stop you.
A little tiefling following behind.
Anything else before you guys leave?
I don't think so.
Didn't
have-
they give you some more soul coins? Wasn't it a thing they
Yes.
gave you?
Yeah.
I have it written down 10 soul coins in the bag of holding.
Okay.
Added to the 7 that we already have, so we're good.
Okay. As you guys
They-
make your way... Oh, go on.
Did they do anything special to Dorothy?
You haven't used them yet.
Turtle wax.
Yeah, so as you go out and get to Dorothy, she does look like they gave her a good old wash, which you haven't seen any water here, so you don't know where that may have even come from. Anyway, at least no natural occurring water, so... But either way, you're sure it'll get good and dusty here once you start taking it through the salt flat, so it's a rather Sisyphean task, but, you know, that is hell
A little
for you.
flag like they have on King Charles's cars.
Love that.
God.
Has Tiamat seal on it.
Flags.
Yeah, love that. So, as you get back to Dorothy, there is an odd feeling of the gravity of the situation, where before you were just trying to save Elturel, but you may have gotten yourself caught up in something even larger, and that gravity is starting to finally sink in.
I feel like Fenix's relationship to gravity has radically changed in the last 24 hours.
Love that. Love that. Yeah. So, and with that, you guys start up Dorothy. Who's driving and where are we going?
I'm driving.
Where are we going?
Coin in the slot back to the tiny living in a helmet Titan.
All right, back to the Titan. Okay, Raven, why don't you roll me 2d6 and tell me what you get on each of the dice?
Oh God.
Okie a 6 and a 1.
Okay. So you get in there and you start thinking, helmet in the sand, helmet in the sand, helmet in the sand, and then you floor it. It's probably a good couple hour travel. Very quiet, except for the, you know, deafening roar of the engine, but otherwise quiet. Where you see, once again, that teeny little speck in the distance that barely even gets big as you start to approach and slam on your brakes just in time. The helmet and the sword are still right where they left them.
Uldrak, that was his name. I couldn't find it.
Uldrak.
Uldrak. Yeah. The Titan.
Tiny Titan.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a tiny tiefling and a tiny Titan.
Knock on his helmet.
You see as he kind of scurries out and you hear him go, "Oh, you've come back. You haven't died. Color me surprised, but pleasantly so."
Yes, and we did come back with what you asked, and she'll pull out the vial.
His eyes do get a little bit wide, but then you see again, it's a kind of reptilian face in his current form with those bat-like wings, but they do curl up in a bit of a smile. Go, maybe you are more than the sum of your parts. Please, place it on me. And he just kind of anoint me with it.
Temperance pops the cork and just dumps it on his head.
He was hoping for some kind of ceremony, and I'm happy to say that you have very much not given it to him. But as soon as it hits him, you see it at first it hits his body and it starts to hiss and steam a little bit, and you could see him cringe and him tense up as all of a sudden his wings start to rip apart and his face is starting to morph. And his hand gets enormous, the size of a basketball, the size of a small car, the rest of his body inflating until standing in front of you is this 50-foot tall creature and reaches down and easily palms his helmet, puts it on his head, reaches down to the cross marking the grave, and then pulls the beautiful ornate sword out. And then he will say, "Yes, until you've met again. The vial, hold it out."
And Temperance will hold it out.
He'll pull up his sword, reach down and leave a narrow, and then cut himself, just his finger on it. And he reaches down. The blood drop is like a coffee cup full of blood that fills in this. It fills up the vial. We'll say that. As he looks down and looks into Jack's eyes and says, "Answers come your way soon for those who listen, my strong friend."
Jax kind of gets down on one knee, like hand over chest.
He did say that. He did say that in Giant, by the way, as you mentioned.
bows the head. I just in Giant just replies that I'm grateful to be in your presence.
He gives you a nod of acknowledgement, And then all of a sudden, you see this flash of fire that almost threatens to take Phoenix's beard off once again, but does not. And the Titan is gone.
I think you're muted, Bonnie.
What happened? Why did you pour that blood on him? I'm so confused. I think I was cleaning my part of Dorothy there whenever this started to happen. What?
Yeah, we needed the blood of Tiamat in order to make him not a little demon thing, to turn him back into a Titan. And we need the Titan's blood to release the genie from her curse, servitude, whatever. And then she'll help us get to Belle's Forge and also free the unicorn.
But we didn't get his sword. It disappeared.
We don't need his sword. We need
Zariel's sword.
Zariel's.
Oh, yes.
Honestly, I needed to have written all of this down. I am so confused. Phoenix, do you know what's going on?
In general?
That's pressing Dorothy.
That'd be a lot. That'd be a bit much even for him. He could do it, but it would be effort.
And when Bonnie asks Phoenix that question and looks over at him, he is kind of bashfully standing over beside Dorothy with one hand under a bumper, like he's maybe going to lift her. And so Bonnie says, never mind.
I actually do. I have a question, Jax. What was all that about?
What was all what?
Well, you don't strike me as a particularly reverent type of person, and yet you were kneeling to that massive creature.
That's a good question.
And then y'all were sort of saying stuff to each other.
That was a Titan, no? You have never seen a Titan before? I mean,
No,
I've never
I've
seen a Titan, but
I
I've heard
saw my
stories.
fair share of giants back in my adventuring days, but never anything quite that big.
I mean, they are bigger than giants.
Yeah, that's what
They
yeah.
come before giants.
Okay, yeah, and? I mean, I just noticed none of the rest of us kneeled to him, you know, and he didn't seem perturbed by that. He didn't say, and now I shall smite thou, since ye didst not kneel unto me, or whatever, you know.
I mean, I did.
So I'm just sort of like, you know, wondering what was that all about? Like, why do you know to kneel to that guy?
How do you know Titan? None of us knew what he was saying.
I do not know Titan. I do not speak Titan.
Yeah, you speak.
Whatever
I
he
assume you
was
speak
speaking,
Infernal,
you
yes.
spoke.
I speak Infernal, yes.
But that,
I also speak other languages.
yeah, like, I don't know, almost sounded like giant.
And it says to you in Dwarvish, I speak Dwarvish. And they are very good tradespeople, no. And then in Giant says, I also speak Giant.
I don't know. Like I said, I just found it odd. So you just were sort of moved by such a massive creature as a sort of impulse of self-preservation to kneel unto them so that they wouldn't, you know, take some kind of issue with you. Is that what I'm to
They
understand?
are
or-
Titans. We should respect them.
But why?
Because they are Titans.
Because you don't respect like dragons in the same way.
Oh, why would I respect dragons?
I don't know. Why would you respect titans
Because
over
they are Titans.
something else?
Well, you know what they say, the first rule of Tautology Club is the first rule of Tautology Club.
Look, I don't know how much more to explain it, but they are like a god to us.
Tieflings in hell?
Yes, tieflings in Elturel.
And Pixel sort of
Wait, but
like
didn't
glances
you say-
over at Raven. Like, she didn't kneel though. Was it a regional
She is
thing?
not- She's not a
Worshipping
tiefling
or
from
being
Elturel.
reverent to a statue of Zeriel while she was still celestial. So
Listening to
Didn't you
this
say-
conversation, can Bonnie do an insight check on Jax? Just to
Yes,
see if
you
he's whether
absolutely
she
can.
thinks he's being as as
Yeah, make
open
that
as
insight
he
check.
seems.
That'll help us decide if Jax even needs to roll.
Bonnie got a 23.
Can you even roll a deception that high?
Ooh, can I roll a deception that high?
Yeah.
I can
Well,
roll a deception that high.
Then, I'd
but
roll the check.
We're gonna see. That's a 17. Let me just tell you, you could tell that there is certain elements that Jack seems like they're being very plain and true, but there is other elements that Jack is absolutely lying through their back teeth, like absolutely just going along with it for the sake of going along with it.
Well, Bonnie's going to clamber down off of old Dorothy and saunter up to Jax, looking dead in the eye, and say,
Ironically, the same height.
"There is more to you than you have shared. That Titan said something to you, and you responded. And we would like to trust you, although you make it very difficult."
What is not trustworthy about Jax?
The fact that you're not being forthcoming right now, and I can tell it.
I mean, what more do you want me to be forthcoming about?
I want you to tell me exactly what the conversation was between you and the Titan, and I would like to know, because it's never been answered to my satisfaction, why you are here hanging out with us.
So the Titan said to me, Robbie, remind me.
Answers will be coming your way in Relimity or something along those lines.
I just needed to listen.
Yeah.
Oh,
was. Yeah. So I relayed that, and I said to Titan, "It is great respect to stand in your presence. As for why I'm here, you stabbed some werewolves, and I was captured by them. I am also in Elturel. I was in Elturel, and got stuck here, and then joined you to try and rescue Elturel and become mighty hero."
what are the questions you're waiting for answers for?
Many questions. Jax is full of questions. Why is sky blue? Why is grass green? Why I in hell?
Noticing that the
I
sky
mean-
is neither blue nor is there any
Yeah.
grass to be green.
The sky is mostly orange and red, and it's that way because we're in hell. And it's made out of fire or something.
Jax, where are you actually from?
I
'Cause you
was
said
originally from Icewind Dale.
Dale, yes. Do they worship Titans there?
Certain parts of Icewind Dale, yes.
And why were you in Elturel if you're from Icewind Dale?
I got stuck in Elturel.
Like in jail?
A little worse than jail.
They had worse than
Finishing
jail in Elturel? We're like trapped in a gym?
Jax kind of just like looks at you like completely deadpan. It's not a pretty sight.
Is that not a pretty... So what?
I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send Robbie. I need to send you a quick message to ask.
Yeah, no, I figured that was coming here.
Uh-oh.
Because the group is
I'm
is
tracking.
looking.
I'm tracking.
Yeah.
Well, it's occurred to us we need a few more answers.
You pretty much know
Players
everything
are-
there is to know about me and all my secrets.
Players are known for like derailing the DM. I think this is the first time the players derailed a player.
I just need clarification on something.
That's fair. Well, I assume that like we're probably climbing back on Dorothy to have this conversation. Maybe
Yeah.
not going yet because we can't have a conversation while the thing's going. But
The last thing he said before Phoenix jumped in, Bonnie harumphed. And she's looking at him, and she would have just said halfway under her breath, I'm listening and I'm waiting too. And then she climbs back up on her little backside of Dorothy. But she's eyeing Jax.
Sorry,
but-
Phoenix has been plotting this since the first exchange in Giant that he's still not exactly revealed that he understood.
Look, Jax has lived many lives, including life in El Torel.
How old does Jax look again?
Like, what, 15, maybe?
God, we're half a
Like,
party of
this
teenagers.
is like a teenage tiefling you are looking at. Yeah.
Now, you will need to clarify, your voice is more like what yours sounds like, right?
Okay, so the voice, you've got it like the voice that you're hearing is not the voice I'm doing. The voice you're hearing is that of a 15-year-old tiefling. You are hearing a 15-year-old tiefling, but with a broken, like, the accent sounds right, but the language is completely broken. Like, she sounds like a tiefling from El Torel. She does sound exactly like any tiefling you've spoken to in El Torel.
And how
But
did
the accent
she...
is completely broken.
Yeah,
how
and-
did
and-
she sound when she was speaking Giant? As far as the accent goes, obviously maybe the voice
Still
didn't
the
change.
same, the same like vocal range, the same tone, the same everything, but the language was perfect.
Fluid. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and I would go ahead
Completely
and I would, since you speak Giant, I think it's more than fair enough to say that the accent they, whatever, portray is a giantish accent.
Yeah.
Whether apparently which is Russian in our world, but I'm here for that. That works.
Yeah, I think it's time
I
for.
should
I
know.
think Phoenix is gonna just rip off the band-aid and say to them in Giant,
Sandalian.
right, so the jig is up. I understood all of it, and you're much more fluent. And I think Phoenix in Giant maybe sounds. He's not like he speaks the language, but he probably sounds to Jax in Giant like Jax sounds to us in Common. You know, but he
That's
basically says like, so sounds like Giant is your first language.
Jax literally kind of like turns around full like 180. So you have traded with giants, as
Sure.
your dwarven kind tend to do.
I've traded with a few, I've killed a few, I've led many lives.
As is Jax. Yes, giant would be my first language.
So then, I'm curious as to how you've lived many lives as a teenage tiefling.
Jax is not a teenager. You hear this coming from essentially the body of like a 15-year-old, like...
Right, so, I mean, but physically...
Like conversations I've had with students trying to do things they're not supposed to do.
Well, they
So were you not
engaged-
always a teenage tiefling? Were you... Is this some sort of magical polymorph? Or maybe these are the answers you are seeking? No?
Jax has lived many lives throughout many different regions of the world. This
Are
is
you-
just one of which.
Some sort of body snatcher?
No, I'm not a body snatcher. This is the first body I've known in a long time.
So was this like ghost possession?
I mean, I'm hoping that somebody will be able to answer the question for me.
Right, so that is the... Okay. All right, everybody.
So during this whole time, Temperance is just like watching a tennis match back and forth between these two people with a language I don't understand.
So I think Phoenix sort of explains at least what he's come to understand. Right, gang, so Jax appears to be a teenage tiefling, but said that their first language
I am
is
a
a
teenage
giant.
tiefling. What are you talking about?
Right, and then with I suppose I don't know. Their first language is giant. They don't exactly know why it is that they have the form they do now, as I'm led to understand, but they seem to have had other ones in the past or something. They said they're not a body snatcher, but they didn't rule out ghost possession. So that's where we got.
I've never seen ghost possession before, so it is possible.
Are we talking reincarnation?
I do not know.
Or is it like...
All I know is I was in Elturel, and then I am here.
Yeah, and
So
whatever
said...
you were in Elturel was worse than prison. Also, that this was
captured?
The first body they've known in a long time, whatever that means.
All you need to remember is that Jax is a mighty hero, and Jax is here to save Elturel along with you, so that Jax can be remembered as a great hero. And also a very good rogue. Sneaky.
Well, you're that for sure. Well, and I thought I didn't know much about my life.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to point out that, as we've come to learn in the last 24 hours, some of our secrets may turn out to be a little bit more relevant than we might have anticipated.
It's accurate.
So, I'm all for letting it sleeping dogs lie for now, but if your secrets come back and bite us in the ass later, we won't have words about it.
I mean, in theory, they will not come back and bite you in the ass. I am looking to speak to somebody so that somebody can give me some answers to questions that I'm looking to find out about, and hopefully be able to
be a mighty hero
with some things.
Okay. Well, shall we?
Yep.
You slam Dorothy into gear. You spin some dust as you start going, and then after that moment, Jax, let's have you roll the 2d6s for me and tell us what we get.
Yes, it's going to be terrible. Are you ready for it? It's a 4 and a 6.
Okay.
Or a 6 and a 4, actually.
Okay. So you guys go and start thinking... Genie lady, genie lady, genie lady, genie lady. And you travel a few more hours, and all of a sudden you start hearing a deep buzzing whirring sound. And then the all too familiar bazap of the demon zapper goes off in a direction, which tells you that you are in the right area. I have a map for that one if you want.
Sure.
I need to open it back up. I've been away from it long enough that the thing closed.
She's actually sitting there going, genie lady, genie lady, genie lady, genie lady.
I love that. Hey, maybe that helps it work better. There we go.
Okay.
All right. You do make your way back, pretty much unbothered, as long as your rolls keep being lucky. And you make your way up to this. She kind of appears and says, "Well, have you brought what you said you would bring to release me?"
Yes, we have. And I'll pull out the vial of Titan blood.
You see her hold out her restraints, her cuffs.
What do I do? Do I pour it on the cuffs? Do you drink
She nods.
it? Okay. So I'll just tip a little
Do we
bit
know
out.
that she is going to hold her side of the bargain before you do so?
Well, I really hope so. She said she would.
Yeah, she didn't want to sign any paperwork about it, so I think we're just gonna have to trust her.
I'm pretty sure that's, yes, I think that's.
But what I will say too is she's here to guard this thing. If she doesn't destroy it for us, if she's gone, she ain't going to prevent us from destroying it. So it may add another step to our process, but unless she wants to kill us, I think, sort of a win-win there. Like a win, semi-win.
Do you pour the blood on the shackles?
Yep.
Okay. They just fall off with these enormous heavy clanks.
Dead guy in it. So nice. I don't think I've ever clocked a frozen dead guy.
Okay, I think we're back. Sorry, folks. I don't know why this crashing keeps happening, but we're just going to soldier on.
All right.
Hopefully it wasn't too disruptive.
Okay, yeah, so the two shackles fall to the ground with heavy clunks, and you see her wave her hand, and a piece of paper comes up, and a quill comes and starts scribbling all the way down on it, and at the bottom you see her kind of flit around, and it signs it in big letters, and then the whole thing disappears. She says, "We are now even. Take this to Bale. He will be glad to hear of you. Just realize that he doesn't always mean what he says." And then she snaps her fingers. You see a puff of dust, and she disappears.
So she gave us, what, like a letter, basically?
Yeah, a writ of introduction, essentially.
Doesn't always mean what he says. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well.
Did we free the unicorn now, or is there another step for the unicorn?
Doesn't always mean what he says. I would like to free the unicorn. Lulu, do you know how we might break this? Do you have any idea?
She's gonna look at it. She's gonna bonk her head against it. No.
Oh, all right. Well, shall I just throw some lightning at it or something?
We have, I don't know, a dispel magic or anything we could try?
Oh, let me see.
Let me see.
I mean, if it is lightning that you require.
I do have dispel magic. I can try it if we want to try it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I will go up and put my hand on the globe around the unicorn and cast dispel magic.
Okay. Roll me a spellcasting check. So it'd be the same as any of your ranged spell attacks.
Okay. Oh God, that's a nat 1 for a total of 9.
Yeah, so that spell.
Inspiration, maybe?
Yeah.
Inspo.
What?
Inspo.
Yeah, okay.
Can I give her inspiration? I can do it.
Oh my God.
2 for a total of 10.
Oh, no.
If listen, if you want to keep using your chat inspirations, you can give them. I don't care about giving to each other. Bonnie, did you say you wanted to give yours to her?
Oh, we can give other people our chat inspiration? Sure.
You had asked if you could, and I
You have
why
your
not?
heroic. You get your
your
heroic
heroic.
per day, so you can literally just hand that off.
Sure. Boom. Here you go, sweetie. Try again.
Okay, one more time.
One more time.
If it swears a 3, if it rolls a
that's better.
3.
That's a 21 total.
Okay. Yeah. So
God.
yeah, at first it's not going too well as you try to channel some energy into it. But Bonnie comes up and kind of puts her hand on your back and comforts you a little bit. And you just channel all of the anger, all of the frustration, all of the not knowing how this world works into this. And you just see as a million hairline fractures start to emerge around it. And then, and although you thought it was going to shatter like glass, it just kind of poof and disappears.
Oh,
And the
good
unicorn is laying on the ground, absolutely exhausted, but alive.
I would I would cast Healing Word on her as soon as I could see her or she could hear me.
And it definitely does help a little bit, right? You see her, she's alive, she's not about to die, but she is incredibly exhausted.
Oh, you poor thing. Bless your heart.
And you do get a intrusive thought, Temperance. Not necessarily one that you agree with, but you have the memory, the feeling. You remember as the ring on your finger tugs at you, probably metaphorically, that Archon thought he could use this unicorn. And you wonder, is it worth giving her to him?
The thought crosses her mind, and she immediately dismisses it because no creature should be beholden to anybody and or sacrificed in that way. And she freed it for a reason, and so it could be free. And so she wouldn't give it over. She has to sacrifice herself. That's different, but
absolutely. And what probably disturbs you the most is that it was the thing that came to your mind.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she just shakes it off and goes over to check on the unicorn and see if it needs help standing or.
And after a few minutes, it is able to kind of get up a little bit, and you hear, all of you in your minds here, thank you. I can't even begin to say what you've done. What they did to me was unspeakable, unforgivable.
Can you get out? Is there anything we can do to help you get out?
I don't know. I think that I can make it. I think that I will be okay. But it will take me some time. I just can't stay here too long before the demons start to realize that this place is now safe, unlike it was once.
You okay, John?
Do you need food or water or?
No. No, I do not require that sort of sustenance here. I should be able to make my way back after I have had some rest.
She kind of sticks her head in the bag. He's like, I think we might have a vial of holy water.
Do you know why this place was chosen for this trap that they set up?
It seems to be as close of a thing to a crossroads as Avernus is like to have.
So you were the bait and the trap? Is that right?
Correct.
I suppose we should stick around until you're able to get out of here. If we leave you and more of those things come around, you know, while you're not in the orb or whatever.
I agree.
frightening number of things that would like to eat you. So we'll just till you're stronger.
It's an odd collection of celestial blood in this group. Looks at Lulu, and then looks at Temperance, and then looks at Bonnie.
Yes.
More celestial presence than I would expect here.
Celestial. Who did they look at?
Lulu, Temperance, and Bonnie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can do to help you? If not, I hesitate to suggest that you would stay with us because I'm sorry. From where we came, there's somebody there that would hurt you, is what I'm trying to say.
Everyone here wishes to hurt me. You are the exception, not the rule.
Yes,
Don't-
but what he wants is a bit more than just to hurt you. He wants to like literally
Use my
absorb you.
soul.
Yes.
Yes, as I said, the exception, not the norm. What do you think they were
Maybe.
doing?
Yeah, but he may be extra. He's got this weird hand thing that just kind of grafted, and it's gross. And
Either way, after a rest, I should be able to return where I am from.
So you
I really wish
rest,
we had
we
meals.
stay here, we kick demon butt while you rest.
If you wish. So you guys are going to make camp here for the night? It has been a long day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
Jax
Phoenix thinks we
ready to
should.
headbutt demons.
Yep. You guys start to bed down with Dorothy and the remains of this trap for the evening, using the trap to make a little bit larger tent than you might otherwise make, and it's a fairly comfortable area, all things included. At least you got some shade. It never does truly get dark here, so shade's always a necessity. Between this and Dorothy, it's about as comfortable as you're like to be. Are we taking watches or are we all going to bed?
We should take watches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe it's 3, unless any of you don't have to sleep, which I don't think is the case anymore.
Yeah, Phoenix will take one of them. I don't know, whichever.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Jax will happily take another watch.
I'll take a third watch.
Easy enough. Okay. First watch, Phoenix, make that perception check, or just perception. actually.
Boy.
And Bonnie wants to do something before she settles down to rest.
Okay, hit me with that, Bonnie, before.
Oh.
Just as it's all we've had whatever snacks or whatever the rest of that food we're done, our daily food. Bonnie has really been looking at this unicorn and thinking about things. And she is gonna attempt, like she sometimes does, to talk to whoever, whatever this is that has made all these things happen to her that have happened.
Yeah.
So she's going to find a place to have a quiet moment, probably on top of Dorothy. It seems to be her little home up there where the catapult is. And she's, going to quiet down and whatever. And she is going to say, there's so much I don't know. But I know that there's good in this unicorn. Real good. Holy good. And I know that Temperance does not deserve to have this terrible thing happen to her by such demonic people. Help me to know, what can I do to help them? What can any of us do to fix this?
As loath as we are to admit it, the voice chimes in the back of your head, almost as if it was listening the whole time, but comfortingly, not in the scary way that others have. Good and evil are not the binary that we hope for them to be. I, of all people, have learned that. And we must work to keep the good whenever possible, which you have done. It isn't always pretty or pleasant to do. Taking things one step at a time is the best you could do. And you're already doing it. As for the creature, it will be safe. But for your friends, here, the most dangerous thing are not the devils flinging themselves at you, or the hordes of demons looking to overrun. The most dangerous thing is the easy way out. As nowhere can you find a shortcut more readily or more easily than Avernus. And nowhere will you pay more dearly for it.
Oh, thank you so much for talking to me. Since Neil left, I have felt hopeless. And although none of this sounds at all easy, or maybe not even survivable, you're giving me hope to face tomorrow. And I thank you for that.
We must acknowledge the sacrifice that some make. Large sacrifices, even from one so small.
He isn't small. Thank you.
Phoenix, what did you get on that perception check?
Yeah, so I only got an 11, so I'm going to spend my chat inspiration to reroll that.
Go for it.
Hey, better, 19.
Okay, gotcha. So it is several hours, and your rest goes by pretty quietly, all things considered. You see, once again, off in the distance, I don't know if it was you who saw it before or if it was someone else, but that large axe-like structure floating across in the far distance at odd angles.
Yeah, I think maybe Jack saw that on watch and told me about it last time we saw it.
Yeah, this time you see it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
this
then I
time you
guess
see
we'll...
3 of them.
Oh, boy.
Nowhere near, not heading to you or away from you.
Just
Across
ominously
the vision,
foreshadowing.
So. But
Okay,
then it is time to wake up Jax.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll wake Jax up and let them know about the axe structures.
Yeah, more of them. Definitely foreshadowing.
They got backshadowing too. It's a lot of light here in hell, and there's sort of shadows everywhere as a result.
Yes, it never seems to get dark. Very odd. I will go ahead and make my perception check.
Do it.
That is a 7.
Wonderful. Okay. So, Jax, you fall right asleep again.
Oh, damn.
Oh no.
But don't worry, you do wake up to the tap on your shoulder. Standing in front of you is a figure. A man standing about, over 6 foot tall, 6'2", 6'3". And his face, he's grinning ear to ear as he looks at you. And you just hear, "Well, my friend, it is so good to see you."
Does Jax know you?
Oh, not yet, but there's always time to meet a new friend.
I'm just gonna like obviously I've nodded asleep slightly, so I'm just gonna like kick whoever's like nearest to me.
No
or, like,
one is
go-
near you. Everyone is
Oh,
like down in
shit.
the tent. You're like on top of them. I assume that's where you would do watch, is on top of Dorothy, because it's where you have the best
Yeah.
view. And everyone else would not be outside, I imagine, in the heat.
Well, I had said I was back on the back where the
Oh,
thing
there you
was.
go. Okay, so if you
I
wanted
did
to,
say
I
that.
don't.
That's
I
true.
don't know.
you could wake up Bonnie if you'd like to.
Can I? Right. Okay. So they're just smiling like a madman.
Yeah, and I sent you a DM.
Yeah, you've sent me a picture.
Yeah. So if you would like to go ahead and describe this figure that Jax sees.
Essentially what looks to be someone almost kind of green-skinned, humanoid, very red hair with like a almost like a crown of like sticks, almost with like very like earthen looking art, like plant life looking armor. Jax, I don't think Jax knows quite how to react just now, and hasn't quite woken up anybody, and is just gonna say, "And what is your intention?" I do not know you. You wish to know me. You wish to get to know me better.
Of course. My name is Smiler.
Smiler, you sound like happy, chirpy.
Oh, I am. I am so happy. I just came here and stumbled upon you, my new wonderful friends, and thought that we were just the perfect team.
I mean, I can introduce you to my allies.
Oh, if you want, but why wake them up? We can talk.
Intelligence is not Jax's strong point at this point. What would you like to talk about? Jax is not very
Well,
intellectual.
You guys could. I was once a pretty important person. Certainly not the most, not to Zariel's level. And I just know I'm gonna be there one day again. I just need some help to put me back on the upswing. And you guys seem like the perfect people to do it.
I mean, you
With
sound kind of like me.
Exactly! See? And he pats you on the back, almost reassuringly. Well, a little bit of monetary investment, and I think that you could maybe have quite the return on that investment to me. Think of it as a business venture. All I need are a
monetary?
couple of your soul coins.
Jax does not have any soul coins.
Oh, well, then how did you get here? He kind of gently pats on Dorothy. She runs on them, so you'd have to have some fuel for. I don't want all of them. I just need a couple to get me going, and when I come back,
Jax will have to check with the colleagues, and I'm gonna just like kind of reach over and like tap Bonnie. Bonnie, Smiler here would like to borrow some.
Okay.
Borrow? Is that the correct? Borrow?
So I'll pop it in the chat for everyone to see. This is the figure that looks at you and gives you this enormous ear-to-ear grin. Well, hi, my wonderful, beautiful lady. I'm so glad to see you. I've been having just the most wonderful conversation with your compatriot here.
In the middle of the in the middle of the night? And does Bonnie have any idea, looking at this guy, who or what it is?
Make me a history or nature check.
History or nature? We're going with history. Oh, whoops, I hit the wrong thing. Well, that's a 13.
That's gonna be enough. You recognize an elf when you see an elf.
It's an elf.
An elf of some persuasion.
Well,
Maybe you don't know the exact kind of elf, but it's an elf of some persuasion.
well,
That would also be enough for you to clue in that the armor he's wearing is not all that different than the armor that Raven is wearing.
My good friend Smiler here, Bonnie, would like to borrow some of our soul coins that Jax does not have access to. And I said it would be best if I spoke to you first before we made an investment. Smiler is looking for us to make a big investment to get big return.
a bit, and Bonnie is going to not yell, but just talk as loudly as she can. You say a big investment for which you need soul coins in the middle of the night? Oh my. Well, we would have to talk to, and then she's going to kind of yell it out, Raven, about that, and possibly Phoenix over there, because he has a lot of smarts, and she's going to try to wake everybody up.
Okay, all three of you roll perception checks at disadvantage. This is DC 10. If at disadvantage you can get a 10 perception check, then you are awake. Otherwise, someone has to wake you up.
Oops.
Oh, I rolled with advantage instead of disadvantage, but I think I still cracked the 10.
That's
either way.
I'm just rolling twice.
Nice.
Disadvantage, I got a 7.
Nice.
With disadvantage, Phoenix has, that's 8 plus 4, 12.
All right, Phoenix, you wake up. You hear Bonnie say your name rather loudly, and then something about investment.
Yeah, Phoenix, I don't think he's close enough to hit anything when he does this, but like as he's jolted awake, he does punch. Like just
Clonk! Yeah. And as you do, it hits the side, leaves a teeny little dent in the side of
the whole
car,
thing just kind of.
and that is more. Yeah, exactly. And that is more than enough to wake the other two up.
Stop hitting my car!
What?
So then-
Raven's
what
got
the
a little
hell?
teddy bear in the bag and kind of, stop hitting my car!
Everybody is awake. Everybody, I would like you to meet my friend, Smiler.
Yes, I'm Smiler. It's so good to see you and meet all of you. I've heard so much about you.
Oh, really? Where?
Around. It's Avernus. Word travels so quickly.
And what?
The group of adventurers from the surface who are
Leave us
out.
with you.
You
What
defeated
do you
Raga
mean?
Draga and you drive his infernal war machine across the plains.
Phoenix would like to look around and see if the unicorn is still here and alive.
Yeah, the unicorn's just over, like
Okay.
laying down, hasn't been messed with at all. You
It's
do,
like-
although, as you
it's
kind of get out,
breathing.
you see over, like, leaning against a rock, one of those bike-looking things that the Raven was having an absolute ball with earlier.
Top Gear of Avernus. That's Raven's next adventure. Do I clock that our armor is similar?
Oh, yeah, immediately. Yeah, there's no roll for that. You just see that.
Do I make the leap to this guy's Fae?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, no rolls required. You get the Fae stuff immediately.
Yeah, we're not interested in changing our energy supplier, so you could just get back on your bike and leave.
Whoa. I think that we should all take a minute and discuss this wonderful proposal.
My mother didn't raise me like I know to make a
Hold
deal
on.
with a
And then he's going to
fae,
snap his
so-
fingers. And I need all of you guys to make wisdom saving throws.
Oh dear.
It's too bad it's not a breath weapon of a dragon.
Bonnie got a dirty 20.
Oh, I get 2. Great.
Fenix got a
get a
nat 1.
Oh no.
I
I got a
got a
17.
9, but I have advantage to avoid or end the charmed condition on
You can roll
myself.
again.
I got a 4 total. I rolled a 2.
14.
14. Okay. So Bonnie and a Temperance, you two are not affected, but the other 3 of you are pulled in. Oh, Phoenix, what did you end up getting after your
Nat
second one?
1, baby.
Okay,
Total
cool.
of 2
Excellent.
all
Okay,
day.
Cool. Yeah, so the other 3 of you are pulled into this beautiful idyllic grove. Now, to be clear, for the other 2 of you, you've noticed literally nothing. So just hold on just for a second as we're just going to move over here. Out of time for a moment. Where the 3 of you are all just sitting in this beautiful idyllic grove with Smiler sitting there and says, listen, we needed a safer place to talk.
I mean, we were pretty safe on Dorothy, no?
Of course not. Do you all have rings of mind shielding?
What is a ring of mind shielding?
The only way in this infernal landscape to avoid being overheard. Otherwise, didn't you know your thoughts are never your own? Never entirely.
Fenix is just thinking an unintelligible string of profanity to himself. Not like in anger, like just as like a self-recrimination, like, oh shit, I should have thought of that. You know?
And a voice pops into your head even going, you know better, you should know better most of all.
Is that this?
shield.
Okay, all right. So I was gonna say, if it's the other guy, is gonna get real crowded in there. Fenix's mind is not big enough for 2 separate entities to take up residence.
Where have you brought us?
You should know this is the Fae. Look around you, and it is this beautiful Fae grove. It's for the first time you feel cool as a breeze hits you. It's a bit of a tropic, but there's a bit of mist in the air from a waterfall just around the corner. While you're here,
if she
nothing
were-
can hurt you.
Elf
And we will
crap.
If you were
return as soon as
to-
our business is over.
Like run her hand through the grass. Does it feel real?
Feels like grass, yeah. Reminds you of the fields and woods of home.
Where are Bonnie and Temperance?
They decided not to join us, but that is because they entrusted you with the negotiations.
I mean, Jax is not the best negotiator.
Now, see, that's where you messed up, because the 3 of us didn't know. No, we're not the negotiators.
I mean, Fenix seems like a good negotiator. They're dwarf.
But you are the only one who understands our Fae connection. Isn't that right, ma'am?
Me?
Oh, yes.
He called you mom.
I'm not Faye.
You wear the...
Horns.
Yes, I see, but...
Tail.
Oh, you were under the impression
Tiefling.
that one is only one thing or the other, and not both.
Yes.
And for once, the mirth on his face is a little more genuine as he laughs.
So wait, were all the previous smiles lies? Why is that one different?
Jax just audibly laughs.
Raven's just confused.
Nothing.
Yeah, Phoenix is very confused. He also hates all this elf crap around him.
He'll
Like-
just kind of wander up and say, Tiefling, you are, of course, but do you think that any blood is pure? Any blood is only one thing?
Well, no. I mean, I'm honestly not even sure how. I mean, halfling father, human mother, tiefling.
Well, that I can answer for you. Maybe not for you particularly, but once a line has been touched by Fae or by Fiend, or possibly both, then that mark does not leave quite so easily. And we'll go ahead and take our break here and come back afterwards.
Okay, folks. Let's see. It is 8:49. So what? 9 o'clock.
Sounds good to me.
Alrighty, folks. We will be back in about 10 minutes. See you then.
Sorry if I
Alrighty,
held
folks.
you up,
And
I
we are
apologize.
back.
Hello.
All right. So, Raven, as he just kind of says, we'll have World Enough in Time later, but I do need that investment to get me back going. I'll even draw it up as a contract where only I make any risks or commitment here other than the soul coins.
Why would a Fae want power in Avernus?
Why would one want power anywhere? Why does one seek power?
I mean, to
I
exercise
have
one's
no
will.
idea.
What's your will?
The will to power, yes, that is how that works.
I feel like I'm
I
repeating myself, but the first rule of Tautology Club is the first rule of Tautology Club.
To make it quite simple, is power
since
has...
I came of age, I have been asking, why would anybody want power? I don't want it.
Well, then let me make it abundantly...
People don't want me to have it, so I... No.
Well, let me make it abundantly clear. There is but one end to power, and that is
rude.
power. Ironically, your tautology comment is not entirely incorrect. Power is not a means, but an end in and of itself.
No, power is a
Now-
tool that you use to do things you want.
And that is the misconception.
And I don't think it is.
No, but it truly is.
You can say the
You
word
are
is, you can
thinking
say
with your-
true, but that don't
your-
make it true.
You're thinking with your surface world brain, not your infernal brain.
Jax
The
has
rules.
infernal brain.
No,
You-
he's busy right now. Can I take a message?
You will need to start thinking like the beings in this place if you want to defeat them. In this place, power has but one, is not a means, but an end in and of itself. Whatever that
So-
might be on the surface, it is different. Tell me, whose life do you think here is enjoyable?
No one.
I mean,
Exactly. Then why would anyone here seek power?
But I thought.
Because it is an end in and of itself.
But
If you wish to use it as a means, then by all means. All the more reason to work with me.
How much do you know about Zariel?
I've been around a while. I know a bit.
So, why did she want power when she came here?
Well, we really should try to get back on end and at least say that we're ending because
Okay.
of technical
Yeah.
difficulties.
Okay, we are back for the moment, gang. I mean, I also have like a 90-second buffer, so I think if I can get it back up quick enough, it doesn't necessarily dump everyone out.
Okay,
but anyway,
it does look like we're back up.
We're back.
Sorry about all the
Yeah,
technical
back.
difficulties, gang.
Yeah. So, yeah, you go. In this, for Zariel, like many people here, maybe yourselves included, she didn't come seeking the power. The power, you know what they say, some people are born great, others achieve it, some have it thrust upon them. Some were, maybe some have a mix of all of the above.
But how can it be an end in itself if it's thrust upon you as a thing you didn't seek? Because if it is the end in itself, you seek it because for its own end, right?
Once you are in the cycle is endless. Not everyone on the wheel, not everyone turns with the wheel, but once you turn with the wheel, you seek to be the one turning it.
But that sounds more like a means than an end to me.
Again, I understand your confusion. It is the confusion of the surface world, of the material plane. Even the Fae think not with that logic.
And yet here you are.
As I said, people are not only one thing. I can adopt a new way of thinking just as easily as anyone else.
How do you adapt that new way without becoming what you're fighting against?
Who said I have any interest? I didn't.
All right. Imagine we take this deal. What do we get out of it?
Well, I wish to build up my infernal fleet. I need infernal war machines. I need manpower. I need items and money. A small kickstart. I can start using my myriad connections to go have those going. And you get a piece of everything that I do, which, let me tell you, in this place can be quite profitable. And I also have some scores to settle, each of which could also be profitable for you.
Scores to settle against who?
Several who mislike me. As hard as that might be to imagine.
I mean, you
No
seem
devils,
like a
if
pretty
that
good
is what
guy.
you're worried about.
I mean, who dislikes you? Maybe we can, I don't know, go headbutt them.
See, that would certainly be part of the agreement, if you see them. The other warlords, the other Avernian warlords, teamed up to lay me low, thought that I had become too powerful. I seek but to return to where I was.
I mean, you still have not given us their names.
Well, it is dangerous to speak names in Avernus.
I thought we were in a safe little pocket. You rolled us up and put us in your safe little pocket, right?
And he kind of looks back and forth. Better safe than sorry.
Oh, I don't say sorry for things I don't regret.
But anyway.
We need the other two to make any type of agreement.
He'll roll his eyes, snap, and you guys plop back into reality with the other two. 0 seconds have passed as the three of you are kind of popped back into this, but the other two of you don't notice any time having passed.
Jax was in the middle of making a lovely necklace out of dandelions. Where did it go?
I was told to bring you back, so I brought you back.
Back from where?
You asked too many questions. They said that they needed you for deliberation.
Deliberation about what?
Yes.
My offer to give you wealth, an army, prominence, whatever it is that you need, since power is a means for you. Let me be the means and you can have your end.
And we also get to headbutt Warlord.
That all feels like a distraction from what we're actually trying to do. Don't suppose you know how to free Elturel?
Well, not directly, but whatever you're going to do, are you trying to tell me that having an amount of manpower and resources would be unhelpful to you?
It feels like we'd just be feeding into the endless war.
Well, I also feel like that would just slow us down, get in our way.
Well, he turns to you first, Raven. You're in Avernus. Your presence here feeds the endless war. Then to Temperance, he goes, quite understood, which is why your investment would be one, let us say, of passive income. A few decisions here and there. But overall, I take care of managing your new empire. Until you're ready to hand it off to me.
Where exactly would this empire be?
He gestures around all of you. Look at all the light touches. You are owner of all that you can see.
Mufasa.
Oh no, that's fantastic. I've got
Lovely bunch of coconuts.
God for a mother who's trying to get me to join her empire, and you want to give us another one here in hell? That's the last thing I want.
Our empires do not hold territory. We hold sway.
You think that I couldn't have sway if I wanted it?
You could, and which is
Without
why.
you.
And you don't want more?
No, I don't want what I have now.
I'll be a little more frank. I need some people to work for me and some infernal war machines. You have the soul coins to make that happen. A small down payment. We start to build up your bastion in Avernus.
Well, I don't know what everybody else has said, but I will say a hearty no thank you, and you can be on your way.
What
But
she
you haven't
said.
even read the contract as he pulls out a contract that flips down.
Nothing
Look.
you've said is appealing. Nothing.
We've had enough trouble with contracts. I've already signed a contract that is capable of destroying my life. Not another. Thank you very much. Go away.
You don't understand. The only person on the hook, metaphorically, in this contract is me. Read it thoroughly, take your time. All I require from you are several of your soul coins. Everything else is of my requirements.
Just so that we're sort of all on the level here, how many soul coins are you asking us for?
A starting payment of 5.
Okay.
Starting.
Starting.
The more you invest, the more you get back. Okay, stepping out of the narrative here for a second. If you guys want to bask in the new mechanics in which you get to have essentially a household, this is the way that you're going to have it. It is going to be the mechanics in which you build up a small establishment, although for you it would be a roving band, and he would be the manager of such. It is a DMG 2025 mechanic.
Got it. This is sort of how we end up with our version of a Skull Manor. Okay, because I spent too much time in Wildwind Wishlights. Like, I'm not making a deal with the fan.
Yeah, I mean, what Phoenix was going to say is basically like, this guy is essentially just asking us for some amount of coins. I'm partially inclined to pay him to leave us alone, honestly. So, but it's like we should understand what we're risking is however much money he's asking
what
for,
you're
it sounds
risking.
like.
And so if you read over the contract is basically just there of a peace of mind. It doesn't necessarily guarantee you a return on your investment, but it does guarantee that he won't stab you in the back, use your investments to hurt you, that until your job is done at Avernus, that you maintain full control over their actions, minus the day-to-day workings that he would need to keep it profitable, yada, yada, yada. Just, that kind of stuff.
And the Bastion is like a safe place for us to...
As safe as anywhere in hell is likely to be. For you, So mechanically it's generally a location, but for you it would be a caravan. Kind of like how Mahadi's is a moving caravan type thing. You would be doing your own, just having your own group of,
Flunkies,
workers,
toadies, hangers
soldiers, infernal war machines, a self-sustaining community. But nomadic, because everything in Avernus, for the most part, is nomadic.
Is nomadic.
Okay.
And I will say the idea of a fleet of Mad Max war machines rampaging across the plains of Avernus is somewhat appealing.
If I get a Blanche, Sophia, and a Rose to go with my Dorothy, yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
There is
okay, I will agree to it purely for that.
I would say I won't say that there isn't any risk. He is if he seems unpleasant, that's because he is genuinely unpleasant. So I do not talk up his credentials, only the opportunities he provides you with. But so is the nature of hell. Who here do you like that you're making a deal with?
Yeah, fair.
So,
and it's strictly for the soul coins. It is not gonna come back and bite us in the ass.
Yeah, the contract's pretty solid. That he is destitute and needs the fiduciary injection in order to get his fleet off the ground.
I don't know if this is possible, but I do think we should try to add a stipulation where if he does betray us, we get to strap him to one of the war machines like Mad Max from Fury Road, like the like the hood ornament of our car.
Raven will take the contract and surprisingly use the skills that her mother taught her in governing and actually read over the contract.
Yeah.
And admit to everyone that it's up and up. It's not a backdoor deal. It's legit.
Well, I think
he's very surprised, but it's legit.
Temperance would still be deeply uncomfortable with the entire situation, but if everybody else,
only one of you needs
Kaylee's
to sign.
all for it, but
yeah. Only one of you needs to sign, although that person would be the final decision maker.
I mean, Jax just wants to headbutt demons.
Bonnie will not be signing.
Yeah, neither will Temperance. But Temperance will turn to Raven and say, "Well, Raven, you've got the most experience out of all of us managing things, I suppose, would be a way to say it. At least the most training."
Reluctantly, I suppose.
Okay. Adding manager of operations to Raven's job title. As you sign.
I wanted to deal with this shit. I'd stay. All right, fine, Raven.
Wonderful. So AFK. After we're done here, I'll share some of the Bastion rules and some of the things we could do. We don't have to do that tonight, but we'll talk about that in the chat outside of game, as it's fairly robust, the types of things that you can do with a Bastion, and the amount of points you have. And as he alluded to, the more money you invest into it, the more you get out of it. So as you start getting things or start working on things, then you'll be able to invest more into it and get more out of it.
I mean, it does give us something to do with all these soul coins besides just drive around.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he wants 5, right?
Yep. But if you give him more, then he will be able to invest more and you'll get more out of it.
We have 16 currently.
I mean, I think 5 feels like a fine start.
Yeah, I was going to say
I would
five definitely
agree.
seems like a good starting point rather than going beyond
And
that.
I think it's sort of like,
We
if
also
start
don't know
with the
what use it's
the
going to come
least
into.
investment is the least risk, and if he proves himself
Okay.
useful, then
Yeah. And we also don't know what use it's going to come into just at this point, other than the physicality of us having a safe haven.
All right, then
Okay.
she will give him 5 soul coins.
He smiles and says, "To my wonder fair benefactors and bosses, I will see you soon." And he kind of gives you a bow, and he hops on the 2-wheeled vehicle, revs it up, and then just starts moving off into the distance as the smoke trail goes in past.
those things are bitching.
Does this mean Jax gets to headbutt more demons now?
I mean, maybe not right this second. I think we gotta let him cook. You know what I mean?
He was very quiet, by the way. He managed to sneak on by everybody.
Yeah.
Very, very sneaky.
You can still hear off in the distance the of his motorcycle roaring at full volume.
Highway to.
Oh my god.
Raven's just sort of muttering, like, first they're off, and now they can feel fate, and I'm in hell, and it's just sort of fuck.
Well, you make it through a few more hours. Temperance takes her watch, which goes by quietly. The morning heads off, and all right. Let's go with Phoenix. Roll me those 2d6s as you
Oh,
start to
boy.
head.
Oh, Bonnie got her snacks together. We're on the
Yes.
road now. So you still
And
got your
also,
temporary
before
3.
you go, the unicorn, who seems to be in a little bit better shape, will nod and say, "Thank you so much for all you've done." And she kind of flips her mane and then starts to teleport out. You just hear body fizzle slowly phase out.
Galloping
She
into the distance.
took the stairway, not the highway.
Yeah, we hear the what is the thing from Robot Unicorn Attack? Like, oh, I want to be with you.
Lol.
It's like a rainbow staircase.
Love that.
Off to Candy Mountain, Charlie.
So yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, I think our current lead is this Bale character.
Yes, Jax would like
Yes.
to speak to Bale.
Bell's Forge is where we're headed next.
Did Phoenix roll his dice?
I
don't
did,
know.
yes, sorry. 2 and a 1.
Perfect. Okay. You get rolling early in the morning. You travel several hours, and as you get there, Raven, you will hear a voice in your head. I guess anyone near enough to it would hear the map say, if I can find
Yeah, I think
it.
I'm the one holding it, but
Okay,
I'm always
perfect.
sitting next to. I'm sitting riding shotgun anyway.
Yes. A gargantuan, or you just hear him say, "An ousted archduke sitting in a volcano, eager to reclaim his stolen throne." A gargantuan volcano dominates the horizon. Clouds of fire and ash spew from its caldera, and the air trembles with its angry grumblings. A vast, multi-layered fortress has been hewn into a volcano's rocky slopes. And you start to get a little bit closer, and you see there are in the distance you see like a little, just what looks to be almost a forest, maybe like a bramble, and then you realize that it's moving, and then no, those are creatures, living creatures, and it is a full host of devils. Hundreds, if not thousands of them, of every persuasion. You even see the odd Aaron Zhao or Pit Fiend controlling these enormous units. And all of a sudden, one imp comes up to you and says, "You, who goes there? Who intrudes upon Baal's forge?"
We have this. We come from Ralzella.
And you hold up the
introduction.
Hold up the writ. He'll grab it, and then he'll go, and then poof, a little puff of sulfuric smoke, and you guys just kind of look around, and just as you start to get comfortable, thinking, "Okay, well, did nothing happen?" That's when all of you feel the fire clipping at your heels, and a poof is going to teleport all of you into this enormous hall. You see fire giants work at these enormous forges, taller than you, clank, forging these enormous huge weapons. The lava stifles the heat, and you are sweating even compared to the absolutely brutal heat from outside. But standing in front of you, or sitting on a throne, you hear and see this enormous pit fiend, and his voice rings out and says, "You insolent creatures would seek to displace Zariel as lord of this place. You must be defeated and sent back to where you came from." But then in your head, the same voice booms a little less softly. Or at least that's what ears must hear. And that's where we're going to go ahead and end our session a little early today because of technical issues.
Well, God damn.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sticking with us, everybody. Again, apologize for the technical issues. I don't think the stream ended as many times as OBS crashed because only 2 notifications popped up in Discord. Yeah. So I think the stream held on despite the hiccups. We are going to do our usual sign off, and then I'm going to raid you guys out. Reminding, of course, everyone who we are and where we can be found on the internet. We will start with our illustrious GM once again, DocRobert.
Hi, everybody. I am Robbie, or DocRobert, and I have been the Dungeon Master, putting these people through more literal hell than usual. Pixel.
Hey, everybody. It's me, Pixel, and I have been playing, once again, Phoenix Brightgrin, Dwarven Barbarian, and picker-upper of furniture. And you can also find me here on twitch.tv/hammer and pixel, as well as on other alternating weeks. You can find me here for our Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign, where I am GMing, and that next episode will be on the 29th. And that's what we got.
Bonus Mom.
I am Bonus Mom, and tonight I played Bonnie Mama, the human warlock, who is very confused. Who wouldn't be in the midst of all this? And I look forward to being back when next we meet up tomorrow. I hope to play some Minecraft and stream it in the afternoon, long about 1:30 to 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. And then maybe Pixel and I are going to join up for a little split fiction tomorrow evening, more like 7, 8, something like that. So that's what's immediately in store for me. And I'll be streaming lots next week. More info coming. Thanks, everybody.
McReese.
Hi, guys. I'm McReese. Tonight I was playing Raven LaFey, a tiny tiefling druid who apparently is now a property manager. I can be found in Bonus Mom's different streams and in the Discord, keeping things nice and tidy and safe.
Cam.
Hello, my name is Cam, or no remark. I have been the almighty, all-seeing, all-truth-telling, incredible Jax the Mighty. You can find me here.
Even when we're not here, he's here.
Yeah,
the whole,
I'm
in
here.
front of that,
Just-
in front
I've
of that
been here
Icewind
the whole
mask.
time.
I live in Icewind Dale.
Daily.
I'm so cool.
I am Kaylee or Christy, and I've been playing Temperance, the Air Genasi sorcerer, who's really tired of people trying to give her power. Like, why? And I can be found here every other Saturday mostly. And also, I stream with a group called Reality Break. We stream on Twitch and also have a lot of our videos on YouTube, so you can find us there. And then I also stream occasionally, and you can find me on TikTok a lot more frequently than you find me on Twitch.
All right.
Take it away, Pixel.
Well, folks, once again, thank you so much for sticking with us through the technical difficulties this evening. And until the next time that I see you, do me a favor, fuck ice. Thank you. And we will. We're raiding out to a friend of ours, Dana. We know them from Final Fantasy XIV, so give them a good old-fashioned Ages of Lionor Bonus Homes Tavern welcome, and we will see you next time.
Let me tell a tale of a world where heroes walk among us, fighting through the darkness left by monsters and by selfish men. A tale of glory rents asunder, sacrifice and battles lost. Our heroes know not what awaits them, and still they carry on. Let me sing a song of a family forged by trials and woe. On their own they falter, but together